everyone, and welcome to another episode of Technical Difficulties. I am your tech wizard, Dwayne Burke, and I'm here to help you solve all of your tech problems when it comes to streaming, broadcasting, and just overall online creation. So remember, if you have something that you want me to solve or you have a question, you can always go to streamelements.com/Berkmain/tip and get that question in, or you can join the Patreon, and at one of my tiers on my Patreon, I have a specific tier where you get to decide the topic for the show. So if you want me to do an entire episode dedicated to your technical difficulty, that is the best way to do it. Okay, so today's episode, we're going to get into what are macros or macro commands. What do they do? How can you use them, and how can they help improve your workflow and your creative process when it comes to streaming, engineering? Even in Premiere or Lightroom or Photoshop, you can use macros to help improve your workflow. So to get started, what are macros? Macros are simply groups of commands that you put together as a single command, essentially. So if I hit Control P on my keyboard, it will execute task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, all from just hitting Control P. Or I could just put it on P without the control, but then I wouldn't be able to use P on my keyboard as I type words. But essentially, that's what macros are. There's a bunch of different ways to set macros up, and my preferred method, and this video or this live stream is not sponsored in any way. I didn't receive any money or anything like that in order to endorse a product. It just happens to be what I use. But what I use to run my macros is an Elgato Stream Deck. All right. So this is what it looks like. Oop, there we go. This is what it looks like. These are all the buttons. These are the buttons that I have assigned for this particular show. But I will show you when I bring it up on the screen some of the other shows and other macros that I have programmed. All right. But you don't want to spend $150, $160-ish on a Stream Deck, right? Dwayne, I need something cost effective. I need something free $99, right? Well, you've got a bunch of options actually. So, and this is the one that I suggest. And the only reason I suggest it over some of the others is because one of the best things about this is it actually has preset button profiles that people can upload to a cloud, and you can use ones that are already made, so you don't have to go through the process of creating the entire macro or the board layout on your own. All right, and that first one is called Touch Portal. All right, it's simple. Links are all going to be in the description below. You go to Touch Portal, download. You click on that link, download the software, and then it works on your phone. You download the app. There's a couple things that you have to do in OBS. You have to connect the app to your OBS. But once you do that, you can use your phone. You can use a tablet. Anything that can connect wirelessly to the internet and supports the Touch Portal app, you can use that to control OBS and run macros. The second one that we're going to talk about is excuse me, I'm sorry. God damn it, my throat is killing me. Okay, is a software called Updeck. Similar to Touch Portal, Updeck is also free, and it does the exact same thing basically. Works on your phone, again, works with OBS. The next one is called Leon Board. Same. It's free software that allows you to create a Stream Deck-esque device. And I haven't messed around with Leon Board a lot, but if I remember correctly, it's meant to be used on a tablet, not on a phone, but some phones can support it. I don't know if it's which phones have the problem. I imagine that it's Android, since all Apple phones run the same operating system essentially once you update them. So I imagine the big problems are going to come with Android phones, which all have slightly different variations of the operating system. And the last one that I'm going to suggest, and the only reason it's the last one I suggest, is because it's only available for Windows and Linux, I believe. You cannot use this on Macs. And that's Deckboard. Deckboard is also free, and it looks incredibly similar to the Stream Deck software when you pull it up. So those are all your options. Again, Stream Deck is what I use. I use Stream Deck software with an actual Stream Deck. But setting up the macros and the process all looks pretty similar no matter what software you're using. Okay? So we're going to move to our working scene, and that's going to pull up my Stream Deck software. All right, so you guys can see what it is that I do in order to set up and understand what macros are. All right, boom, there we go. This is Stream Deck software. All right, it's super simple. You get a layout of your Stream Deck. These buttons and these icons correspond directly to what you see in real time on your Stream Deck. Okay, so this is my profile for this show. These are all of the macros that I have set up. Or actually, some of these aren't macros. Some of these are just hotkeys. The difference between macros and hotkeys: macros are multiple actions. Hotkeys are a single action. So this is a hotkey. This is also a hotkey because all it does is one thing. With a button press, it switches back and forth between scenes. But both of these, so the start show and the start stream, are both macros. So this is how I use macros to improve my workflow and make things a little bit easier. Oh, excuse me. My mustache is getting out of control. This is how I make things easier for myself. Okay? So when I start my stream, I actually start streaming with the push of one button. Everything to get my computer set up happens with the push of one button to get me outputting to the stream. So I push start stream, and this is what happens. My OBS scene switches to my go live screen, that stream starting soon screen that you guys saw at the beginning. It switches to that. It mutes my microphone so that you guys can't hear me until I want you to hear me. It sets the volume of the music to the volume that I want it at. And then it makes the stream go live and basically hits the start streaming button in OBS for me. Then, once I'm ready to start the show, I hit start show. It switches to the thumbnail for the show. It gives it a 2-second delay. Then it lowers the music, fading over 3 seconds from 60% to 20%. Another 3-second delay. It turns the music off in my headphones, and it turns my mic on. And then, last but not least, it switches to my main screen, what you guys see on screen for me. All right, that is my whole macro. So it takes me 2 button pushes in order to get my entire show running. That's it. So I can show up 5 minutes before the show starts. Not that I do. I don't. I am normally sitting at this desk at least 30 minutes before the show starts, because you gotta send tweets, you gotta drop the links, you gotta, do all that stuff. And that stuff you can actually do through macros on a Stream Deck, but I prefer to just do it manually. Because if you do it through macros, it has to be like the same every single time. Whereas if you do it manually, you can kind of change it, add a little flair, add a little flavor, add GIFs, pictures, emojis, whatever. You can't really do that if you're using macros. It's going to be the exact same thing every single time. But that's all it takes for me. 2 button pushes. All right. I'm going to take you, and then to show you a little bit more complicated macro, because I have a few, I'm going to take you into my streaming, like when I'm streaming on Twitch, some of the macros that I have for that. Okay. And then I'm going to show you how to do this. All right. How exactly to set up a macro. All right. So let's go to my Twitch profile, or sorry, not my Twitch profile. I need to go to my default profile because that's where this button is. So when I stream on Twitch, I have to do 2 things. I have to hit this button here. This button is a macro that in OBS changes the profile. So the settings that OBS is set to, which includes frame rate, bit rate, all of the things that I showed you in the video last week, it sets all of those settings. And then it also picks what scene collection I can choose from when I push buttons in OBS. And when I look at OBS, what scene collection am I going to see? So I hit that button. Then the second button I push is start stream. And this is one of the most complicated macros that I've put together. It's not the most complicated, but it's one of my favorite, because in this macro, it does everything that first button does. It does it again, just in case. Then it mutes my microphone, so you guys can't hear me until I want you to hear me. Is it gonna... Oh, Jesus. Okay, for a second it switched scene collections on me. Okay. Then what it does is it switches to my starting soon screen, which has a 5-minute counter on it. Then it sets the sound effect volume to 100, sets the music volume. It starts my stream, delays for 125 seconds. The reason for that is for that 125 seconds, I will have music playing, which is normally background music from the great David B. Then after that, so I'm on the delay. So after that, 125 seconds, music gets muted. Music is supposed to go all the way to 0. Sorry. Music gets muted. And then the song that I start all of my streams with to let you know that the stream is about to start, Trying to Fuck, starts. Then 174 and 1/2 seconds later, Trying to Fuck ends. Air horn plays. Immediately after the air horn, my main chatting screen gets switched to. Mic turns on. Music gets turned back on. In my headphones as well as for the stream. And then my Stream Deck switches profiles to my Twitch profile, which looks like this. And it has all of my buttons that I use while I'm on Twitch. All of that is the push of one button. That's macros. That's the wonder of having these things set up. Are they time consuming to set up? Yes. Did I have to sit here with a calculator and figure out the exact seconds of delay and things like that I needed to make all those things happen? Yes. But it allows me for at least the first 5.5 to 10 minutes not have to worry about switching things or, oh, damn it, I forgot to put the right screen up. I'm accidentally on my credit screen instead of my, my chatting screen because I clicked, the wrong thing in OBS. I know every single time exactly how that macro is going to execute. And I know exactly, okay, when I hear, like for this show in particular, when I hear the music go off in my headphones, I'm good to start talking to all of you. I get that audio cue. Same with when I go live on Twitch. I have an audio cue in my headphones that lets me know, hey, start talking to the camera. The stream is live. You are on screen. All right? So how do you set up macros? It's very easy in all of these different programs because all of them function almost identically. All right. So I'm just going to start a new profile so that I got a completely blank slate. Right. What do you want to control? So let's say I want to do an ending screen for this particular show, right? So the first thing I would do is, in Stream Deck, your macros are called multi-actions, all right? All it means is it's gonna perform more than one action with the push of that single button. You also have what's called a multi-action switch, which allows you to toggle multiple things on and off. So if there's like a bunch of scenes or a bunch of sources in OBS that you want to turn on and off all at the same time, you can actually put that on a switch and you can have an on position and an off position. So say I wanted to turn my camera on and off all at once with the border and everything, I could do that with a multi-action switch, which is basically a macro switch. All right. So with this, it just executes in order. And then once it's done, it's set, and you can't like undo it by pushing the button again. But with a multi-action switch, you can undo everything you just did by hitting the button twice. All right, so getting back into the multi-action. All right, this is what it's going to look like when you drop it in. Then you just double click it, and from here, now you can take all of these actions, any of them, and you can set them up in order. So first thing I want to do when I end the show, right, is change scenes. So you go in, you pick the scene collection that you want, the scene that you want. I want my end screen, and then make sure that you have this here is on program. All right. If you're using studio mode and you have it clicked to preview, all that will happen is it will change what's in your preview menu. It will not change what's going out to the stream. You have to have program clicked in order for it to change what's going out to the stream. All right. So you click program. So I put my my ending live screen, get to switch to that. Now, for me, I have a special one that's got boxes for the suggested playlist, suggested video, and then a circle for my subscribe button at the end of every video, right? So, and then in order to use that on YouTube, the cards that you put on have to be visible for at least 5 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that screen up for 6.5 seconds. So every delay that you do is going to be in milliseconds. So I have to remember, okay, 1000 milliseconds equals a second. So 6.5 seconds is 6,500 milliseconds. All right. Now, from there, what I want it to do is end the stream. So I just click stream, drag it over, click the drop down, click stop. Now, when I hit this button, what it'll do is it will switch to my end screen. 6.5 seconds later, it will end the stream. Okay, but also when I hit end stream, when I switch, I want to be able to talk without you hearing me. So what do I got to do? I got to mute my microphone. So the easiest way to do that, come down here, grab the wavelength tab, set input volume, Boom. I'm going to drag it. I want the scene to switch. Then I want to mute my microphone. So set input volume. My input wave 3 is my microphone. I want to do it to the stream. So the stream mix. And then volume 0. That'll mute my microphone. Well, I also want music, the volume of the music to increase once my microphone's muted. So I do it again. Set input, music, out to the stream, and then whatever level I want the volume of the music at. Boom. Oh, Jesus. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. All the streams in a row, my voice is still getting used to it. And then boom, now I've got a button to push to end my stream. This will do all of this at the end of the stream, and you're actually going to see it in action at the end of my stream. This is exactly what I'm going to use. It's exactly the same thing that I use for pretty much any show. If you watch me engineer it, I use the exact same kind of set of macros in order to end the show. All right. But that's how you set up macros. They're exactly the same no matter what software you're using. They all are set up very similar. Now, there's another way to do this. And it's not the way that I'm going to show you today, only because I don't have another keyboard in order to do it. Okay. But you can actually set up macros on a keyboard, or if you get one of the like keyboard pads that's just like blank numbers or blank letters or switchable keys. If you get one of those, you can also set macros to a keyboard. It doesn't have to be a Stream Deck. It doesn't have to be fancy and have icons and things like that. It's just helpful because now I know exactly what button I'm pushing and what it's going to do because I can label it. Same with Touch Portal, Updeck, Deckboard, you know, any of these different macro softwares, all of these different things. The benefit of them is you can label exactly what key is what. You don't have to memorize it or have a chart that you've written out or anything like that. But that's macros. That's how you set them up. That's how you can use them to improve your workflow. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and hit the plugs. And while I'm hitting the plugs, if you've got any questions, please remember streamelements.com/Berkmade/tip. Get your questions in. If you've got something you want me to clarify on macros, a suggestion for a future topic, a question about a past topic, get it in. So here we go. Here's my plugs for where you can find me and what I got coming up next. Tonight, I believe it's at 7 p.m. Pacific time on the Let's Get Ready Network Twitch channel. I will be watching Star Wars Rebels on that show. Then Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time here on this channel, you can catch me with Dessert Men Live, my entertainment news, social commentary, just current events show with my co-host Aiden Cossack. That's every Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. You can catch me here every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time for technical difficulties every week, where I help you with all of your technical problems and teach you how to do all of the things that I do when I engineer for these live broadcasts. You can also catch me on Twitch every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday consistently. My Twitch is in the description below, and on my Twitch channel I do have a up-to-date schedule, and sometimes I throw in a 4th or 5th stream during the week. Those are kind of just impromptu streams, but the ones you can guarantee are every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday. You can also find me on Patreon, patreon.com/Berkmade, and help support the show. It helps us get guests on Dessert Men Live. It also will help me get some of the equipment that I need to show you guys how to solve your technical difficulties. I've gotten a few that I really want to make shows for, but I just don't have the equipment to do them yet. and I could talk you through it, but I'd much rather be able to show you as I'm doing it so you can follow me step by step. Other than that, oh, and last show, and it's one of my favorite shows. It is going to be in about 3 weeks on March 2nd, the second episode of Book Nook with myself, Maxwell Haddad, and my co-host from Dessert Men Live, Aiden Cossack. This month we are reading The Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. The book is fantastic. The reason we pushed it back a week is because this book is longer than the last book that we read. So we wanted to give everyone a little bit more time to read the book, especially since we've got a short month. So March 2nd, Book Nook number 2. Hopefully I see you there. I'm going to check now, see if we got any questions or comments. And it looks like we've got none. Beautiful. I knocked it out in 30 minutes. Hopefully this episode is not too long. I didn't ramble too much or go too fast for anyone. Let me know in the comments because I know I have a habit of rambling very, very quickly. So if I'm moving too fast and consistently in the shows, please let me know in the comments. And on that note, if you're here and you haven't subscribed, why not? Please subscribe, like the video, and once I'm done with the live stream, comment. It helps get more eyes and help more people with their streaming problems. So thank you for everyone who watched. Thank you for everyone who supports. Thank you to everyone who liked, subscribed, and is with me all the time. I will see you guys next time for technical difficulties. And have you tried turning it on or turning it off and turning it back on? I don't know. Maybe that'll work. And you're about to see the macro now.